Oh. I thought the montage was over.
No,
again. Hello everybody, this is Big Match Revisited. I'm Mikey Burrows, alongside me as ever are Tim Spiers and Tom Parry, and the biggest question, boys, is does it make you feel good?
What tune? What? I'm raving here.
my.
What a tune.
What a montage, and a raving Robbie Dennison as well. I love the way they edited Robbie Dennison to have a bit of a rave at the start of that montage. That was fantastic. Some great goals this season.
We've basically seen. Normally at the start of these we get a spoiler for what happens at the end, but we've basically just had a spoiler for the whole season.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we don't need to watch any of this now, and I don't really want to after that. I just want to go out.
That has been the best montage by far. In fact, when we get to the playoffs at the end of the season, can we just play that montage and forget that the playoffs don't happen?
Yes. I when we were preparing for this, I skipped ahead towards the end earlier, and I don't want to spoil it, but there is something really weird on the video that happens afterwards. And this is not a long video, everyone else, by the way. So
it's not. Like, tragically, we had to sit through more than 2 hours of Mark McGee messing up another promotion campaign in 97, 98. And then this is, disclaimer, this is my favourite season of all time. And I know this video off by heart. Literally, I could probably tell you what every commentator is going to say. Like, I used to watch this so much. My favourite season ever.
It's a great season. It's a great season. Some fantastic goals. A beautiful strip.
Oh, it's a good kit, isn't it?
It's a classic kit. And some brilliant names in the squad. Some absolute stalwarts in the squad.
It's a great kit. It's got the collar and the buttons, which is rare. It's got I think it's got the coat of arms as well.
Yeah, it's got the town. It's got like the town crest. It's a great shade of old. Like it's the perfect shade of old gold.
And the Albion getting beaten. Yeah, Wolves.
Look at him! Look at him! What a beautiful little man.
I think Wolves are top scorers this year, and more than half of their goals come from the penalty spot via Andy Thompson. I think he scores a ridiculous amount.
Did Tomo ever miss a penalty? Like I can't. I feel like I can't remember watching Tomo miss a penalty. Like he was so good from the spot, wasn't he?
Well, spoiler alert. That might be one this season.
He does. He has missed at least one. I really like David Kelly.
I can't believe he gets sold at the end of this season. I have no idea why. He was brilliant. He was one of my first heroes, actually. Do you remember he was in the Ireland squad for the World Cup?
Yeah.
That World Cup that England weren't at, so everyone became Irish for the summer.
Yeah, because I've no idea how he got qualified for Ireland, like Cascarino.
Well, I used to really like David Kelly, but I discovered only this week that he's an Albion fan. Apparently,
what?
Staunch Albion as well, not just like a.
That is heartbreaking.
It is devastating.
Yeah, because there was a rumour, I think I asked him when he came to do our Gold Club as to whether he'd worn an Albion shirt under his Wolves top, and he insisted he hadn't.
Oh, that's horrible. He had a great season this season, didn't he?
He did. So this was Graham
superb.
Taylor's first full season. I think he'd been appointed in March at the end of last season.
Bloody hell.
What you can never. This was Billy Wright's passing, I think, wasn't it? As well.
Was it?
Yeah.
The opening the game of the month against Sunderland, we was all in a Sunderland hotel preparing for the match, and only to get on the coach at 10 o'clock in the morning to go training, to do a light bit of training, only to hear the news that Billy Wright had died.
Russell, Goodman.
There's always someone who is arriving late into the ground during a minute's silence.
Yeah. Oh,
Do you know what I mean? And it's not their fault.
It's not their fault, but it gets worse because everyone tells them to shut up.
Yeah, and then that breaks the silence as well. Because, obviously you get there's nothing worse than people who deliberately break a minute's silence. But you do have to feel a bit sorry for, if somebody's coming in late with a pie and just chatting too loudly. It's it's the worst.
Yeah, but it's because they've had a few drinks, so when they walk in, they're like, "Why is everyone so quiet? What's going on here?"
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. That's it.
Here's one of those things that you think, I wonder what it would have been like to meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't that old either when he died. It's such a tragedy. Imagine the stories he would have had.
Yeah. I've been really fortunate to go and meet Ron Flowers, and I've met a few others who played in the 50s and stuff. We did an old Gold Club special last season to mark obviously 1959, the last title winning season, but those early England World Cups and stuff as well would have just been incredible to hear about. And you can see from all this, there are a few people that would have touched so many people in the city like that.
Yeah.
So Jack looks in tears there. Oh, and do you know what? I've just had a thought as well. Imagine if this had have been the year that they'd have got back up.
Oh, don't get me started. This is. I mean, this season is amazing.
Yeah.
But I think they're top scorers, and they also concede more than the bottom club. I think.
No
it's just
way.
It's something stupid like that. They conceded 66 and scored about 70 or 80 odd. But it's my favourite season. Like I said, it's always the one that's tinged with such regret, because if Wolves had gone up this season with the money and this squad of players, I mean, they were spending more than most Premier League teams at this time. They were
this was the time, wasn't it? And it felt like it was exactly the right time to go up. The stadium was in place. The team was there.
Well, they had a great manager, really. Graham Taylor. I know he was bombed out quite soon, but he was still a fantastic manager. And the Premier League hadn't really kicked off at that point. It was just kind of getting going with the foreign imports, and it was time to get in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bully in his prime, I think he has a bit of an injury this season, but it would have been the right time. Oh, man. Yeah.
Neil Emblen's on fire here.
Neil Emblen.
I mean, he cost officially, it goes down as 600,000, but I always remember it as being one of those that was counted as around the $1 million mark.
There were a few. They brought in Froggatt, Tony Daly, David Kelly was quite a bit. Goodman and De Wolf come in this season as well.
Yeah, of course. So De Wolf isn't with us yet, is he? We signed him mid-season.
I think he's winter.
Yeah, he signs on the same day as Don.
It's quite it was a spectacular splurge in the Express Star to have John De Wolf, because he's such a striking image, and obviously the name.
Glory days of the Express and Star. That.
Yeah, so cool.
No, they came about 15 years later. I think.
Like, why does Steve Froggatt look like he fills out a kit so much better in 1994 than he does in 1997-8?
I always wonder how much emphasis was placed on signing DeWolf because of his name.
Yeah, I mean, it had to play a part, didn't it? From a marketing point of view, it's just too perfect, isn't it?
Well, I was watching... Oh, Mark Walters, that was. What a goal.
What a goal.
I was watching something the other day.
I was right behind that goal.
David Dean on something the other day saying how Arsene Wenger and Arsenal, and he was like, "Oh, it just fit. We just had to do it. It just fit."
Yeah. yeah.
Such a master stroke. But yeah, you wonder if DeWolf was just called like John Smith, they probably wouldn't have bothered.
Well, certainly it feels like he wouldn't have. I feel like if you're Wolves, you could call up John DeWolf and go, "Come on, mate, you want to play for Wolves, don't you? You're John DeWolf," and he'd probably be like, "Yeah, all right." Like I think it works that way round more than anything, you know.
That's a phenomenal goal, by the way. Yeah, Southend. Take that.
Darren Ferguson obliges with this corner then for Wolves. Bending one that it is. A flick on from Kelly and Bull. Steve Bull scores for Wolverhampton Wanderers.
In his absolute pomp. There's no finer sight.
That kit as well. There's just no messing with that kit. There's no frills.
No, it's clean.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Bully.
Great. We are absolutely whipping through this. It needs to put the brakes on a little bit, doesn't it? It's like
Coca-Cola Cup. So you can tell how old someone is by what they refer to the League Cup as.
In my head, it's always the Coca-Cola Cup. Yeah.
Well, also this was Ensley Division 1, if you remember Ensley.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
I don't even know what Ensley do.
Insurance, I think they were.
Ensley fan.
I actually had car insurance with Ensley because of that association, so the sponsorship does work,
doesn't
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to pick which tyres, Michelin, Pirelli, no, I'll have Goodyear, please, mate.
I'll have Goodyear. I'll go to Chaucer. Thank you very much.
I'll have a bag of Doritos.
And what am I printing with? Amanda's Paint and Ink. Thank you very much.
If I'm struggling financially, I'm going to the money shop for a loan at an extortionate rate.
Don't open that can of worms.
It's not the same.
An individual goal to make it 3-1 on the night.
What a start. You are all right. It's goals galore, isn't it?
Yeah, Chesterfield.
So, Spiersy, were you going at this time?
Yes, I was 9 years old and loving it.
Did you have a season ticket?
Yeah, season ticket, back row of the lower tier of the family enclosure. So I could stand up, which was great because everyone sat down, but there was an adult in front of me, but like I could stand up and just be above his head.
Hooligan.
It was great.
And closer to the North Bank or the South Bank?
No, close to the South Bank.
Great.
How about you? Where were you?
Yeah, I was halfway up the Stan Cullis. Next in the corner, in the breezy corner.
Oh, had you already got your season ticket by this point?
Yeah. I think this was my second season.
I love how we go through the timelines of how we supported Wolves, but in a funny order. It's 1 week to the next. It's like Pulp Fiction. Everything's just like it's not in timeline.
Yeah. Walter's second amazing goal of the season there.
It does feel weird watching this, having done 97-98.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people that we took the mickey out of in that time that are actually younger and in there, more of their, as Tom would say, pomp.
Great word.
It really is. God, everyone looks great, don't they? These were the glory days, I think. I mean, you have to say it. I've been looking at a lot of old Oasis photos and things like that, and you kind of think it all felt like it was clicking into place, didn't it?
Everything, yeah.
If we'd have just beaten Bolt, no, let's not jump ahead. But bloody hell!
Oh, this isn't going to end well, is it?
No, man alive.
There's even a part of me that really likes that Port Vale kit. It's kind
it's a bit like that Liverpool candy one of the early 90s,
Yeah.
isn't it? The thing, the stripes.
There he is again. Look at him. What a beautiful head of hair as well.
Yeah.
What a guy. If only he started his moustache at this period.
Do you know why he shaved it off? Has he ever told you that?
No, but he did slightly grow it back at the start of lockdown and sent me a photo, but he won't let me put it out. Yeah.
Oh, Tomo.
Bang.
Get him again.
I'm pretty sure he looked at me there. That where he just celebrated there. He flicked me a glance.
Did he wink as well and say that was for you, Tom?
That was for me. That's certainly how it felt. I remember that's how it felt.
See, right, people might look at this and go, this is Port Vale, they're rubbish, but I distinctly remember they were always really good at the Anglo-Italian Cup around this period. So I don't know whether that just makes me feel like they were better than they were.
Tragically, we don't see highlights of that competition on this video, because Wolves did play in it this season.
That was a great
the
tournament.
Anglo-Italian Cup, God.
Yeah, but all these people saying Wolves haven't played in Europe for 40 years. They did. They played Ascoli at home.
That's a documentary that's crying out to be made, isn't it? The history of the Anglo-Italian Cup.
Oh, it's an athletic feature. You've got me started already.
Get it out from behind the paywall, mate. Come on. The world needs to see that documentary.
We only do it in exceptional circumstances such as that.
Fjortoff was a formidable opponent, I remember, in these seasons. He always seemed to score against us. He's a good player, wasn't he?
So is this post Swindon in the Premiership?
Yes, the season before, I think.
Yeah.
Look at that away end. Look at that.
Oh,
Sun-baked. Oh, yes.
Park life blaring out, getting the ciders in. It was a different time, wasn't it? Oh, take me back.
getting the ciders in. You must have been about 11.
Yeah,
they're only 20p a can, mate.
Hooch. That's what I would have been on. Lovely bottle of hooch.
There wasn't a legal drinking age in the 90s. It was a free-for-all. Out you go.
If you were with your parents, it was fine.
It was allowed, yeah.
Yeah, you'd be at the bar and your dad would be like, yeah, and give him half. Half a cider. That's what we were allowed. Especially when I went to see my granddad.
Yes, I wonder for a moment whether the referee, Mr. Spiers, had spotted it. Indeed. And Wolves getting yet another penalty.
Got about 10 already, haven't they?
Yeah.
This is why he's got close to 50 goals.
Yeah. Bang. Another chance to celebrate it by me, look. Yes, there you go. Every time.
It's for you, Tom.
The Tom O'Pennell celebration was just for me. We had my season ticket was behind a woman who my brother and I nicknamed Fatback because she
I don't think you have to explain why.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Needless to say, I didn't have much leg room. That was the main thing. Like she was like a perfectly proportioned woman apart from her back, and it'd come back over the chair.
Sorry, it was a woman.
Yeah. Fatback.
Fatback.
Never found out her real name. It's funny, isn't it, when you have a season ticket, you see the same people week in, week out, and, you know, like, you only get to know a certain number of them. I never really got chatting to Fatback.
Clearly. If you're watching Fatback, I mean, I apologise.
But if you are listening, Fatback, and you're still going to the Wolves, maybe sit forward a little bit, think of the person behind you.
Oh, there's nothing worse than people that lean back in their seats. Oh. Especially now, like once I went over 6 foot, and you're like, football grounds are not made for tall people.
No.
Or chubby people. And I was both. Still am.
Where are we going with this? Oh, bully.
Bully.
Oh, something off the training ground.
Was that Mark Venus?
Couldn't save it. It came through his wall, and Wolves are 3-1 ahead.
Oh, beauty.
It's like a bygone time as well of kind of goal celebrations. Like a quick shake of the hand and
Yes.
let's all jog back now, lads.
Everyone's in a real rush to get back to the halfway line, whether they're winning or not. Like, you see, like, Bully scored a goal about 2 games ago, straight back to the centre circle. It's like, but we're 1-0 up. It looked like we were like, ball out the back of the net. Let's get back on with it.
Why is Mike Stowell trying to hide behind a plant here?
Stowell's the only player they've got so far for this season review, haven't they? They haven't been able to chat to anyone else.
Oh, this was great. This was a good Forest Premier League team, I seem to remember.
It might have been rather a messy goal, that, but it's a goal nonetheless, and it comes with only 6 minutes of the game gone.
Is that Jamie Smith?
Yeah, it's Jamie Smith, isn't it? He was a teenager, was he, at the time?
Well, he looks about 14 there.
Yes.
Wonderful. A superb shot.
Stan.
I'm sure Mike Stowell will be
Collymore.
disappointed he didn't keep it out. And Forest have a second goal in 21 minutes. Phillips outside of the foot, but Froggatt intercepts and finds Bull. Good header.
Look at that. Textbook layoff
That's it, isn't it?
to his mate.
Chink of daylight. Thompson driving it in, Pearce with the clearance. Bull's there again. And it comes to Kelly.
Bull versus Pearce. Oh, what a battle.
Oh, Birchie. Handshake.
Little
See that
Paul
handshake?
Birch.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
Paul Birch is exactly the right height for a hair ruffle, isn't he?
That's beautifully put. It really is. I just love this. I just love the fan celebrations around this time. It's just, I don't know, do fans celebrate as wildly these days? I don't think you get as good limbs as you did back then.
Oh, no, you still do. Man United FA Cup last year.
Yeah, that's true.
That's good limbs.
The difference is now you have to wait for VAR.
Yeah.
Man City at home. Good limbs.
Yeah, but did you see Southend at home a couple of minutes ago?
They were very much the Man City of their day, weren't they, Southend?
The Man City of the Essex coast, if you would prefer.
Kevin Keane. Pesky Salido again turns up in all these videos.
Fan favourite, Pesky Salido.
I was right behind this. Oh,
Yes.
yes. Chest down volley, bully.
Yeah,
Bang.
vintage bully.
Handshake.
Yeah, oh, that's a lovely handshake.
I'm in there somewhere. I promise you, I'm in there somewhere. I remember pausing that and finding myself.
Really?
Not spiritually. Yeah.
Started, he was magnificent against Bristol City. 5-1 away win. You know, it's got to be the highest away win of the season, I believe.
Yeah, these Mike Style inserts are really weird. It's really upsetting me why they were like, where should we put him? Oh, just pop him next to that plant. I'll do. Are we going to interview anybody else? No.
It's probably his idea, old knowing Stowley.
Mark Walters is having a great season. I seem to remember because, like, in my head, he came to us in, like, the autumn of his career. But he had a real impact, didn't he?
He doesn't play an awful lot, you know.
So was he injured?
I think he goes back soon. I think he was at Liverpool and they had him back because it was on loan.
Yeah.
Bang!
Goes back in October.
Because
I think he was because Tony Daly got injured, which no one will be able to believe. I think Walters was like a loan replacement.
Yeah. Classy player.
Oh,
Unfortunately, they needed him to be on loan for 4 years if he was going to replace Daly's actual injury length.
Foggett racing onto the through ball, looking for support in the box. Oh, what a mix-up could come for David Kelly again.
Bang.
Oh.
Kelly's on fire.
The other interesting thing to note about this season is that only one team went up automatically. This was the year they changed the Premier League from 24 or 2 teams to 20.
It was, yeah. So only Middlesbrough went up, was it?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Free kick. David Priest to take it. Oh, and it's gone in. What a superb strike from the free kick by David Priest.
And we weren't far off, were we? I mean, certainly, if there'd have been 2 automatic promotion places, we'd have been right in the. Because there was only points in it. I seem to remember.
I think we end up 4th, but yeah, obviously, because everybody knew that only first went up, it obviously completely changed the dynamic.
To Luton Town. Score of their second goal, Priest, the score of their first. Now Mitchell Thomas chips it in and it's there. Kerry Dixon
Oh dear.
for Luton Town. Emblem.
Yeah, I think defending was the main problem this season.
Once more to get past Gary Waddock and can't. Now Paul Stewart fed by Ferguson. It takes a deflection and goes in. Well, the deflection came. Unfortunately,
just actually, boys, right? Just imagine if you weren't born until 2000, and you're looking at this, going like, these teams: Port Vale, Southend.
Luton.
Yeah, Luton.
Oh, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Notts
but yeah,
County.
I know what you mean. Yeah, Notts County.
Now Morris. Ignat's layoff to Musto. Good football this from Middlesbrough. On it goes to Henry and Wilkinson. Back to Henry. And it's deflected in.
A lot of these games were on telly as well. Do you remember? They had the ITV Central
Oh yeah, on a
would
Sunday.
screen games on a Sunday, yeah. Wolves were on all the time.
That's right. Yeah.
Alan Parry was the commentator for
Alan
most. I
Parry,
think.
Gary Newbon doing his thing in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, because wasn't it like a regional thing? So there was like you always got a Midlands team on.
Mixu Pataline in there, by the way. Yes, I think so. Yeah, it was. I think each region could televise live games, couldn't they?
It did. Yeah. That's right. Tomo. Week in, week out.
There he
Always
is
at the
waving
same
to
end
you.
as well.
I
That's
told you, I
ridiculous.
know. That's it. Down our end. Always in front of that Perry Poultry Limited sign, which was very much the Chicken Tonight of 1994.
Brilliant. Simon Coleman, useless.
And somewhere Mark McGee was looking at him and thinking, "Oh yes."
Hey, he likes scoring for Wolves. Yeah, do you remember, Tom, how big a deal it was to have Graham Taylor?
Yeah.
He was probably the most high-profile manager in England at that time.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
And then he chose
obviously-
Wolves as his destination.
I mean, there was a slight stigma around him, obviously, because of the England job had been so toxic.
Well, I think that's why he didn't get as long as he should have, because the fans kind of hounded him out.
And it, yeah, I remember it being like, it was really toxic that next season when it turned against him, that kind of wanting to get him out, because he was a superb manager, you know. And,
He was, but he was also the nation's villain, wasn't he? For
Yeah.
old
And,
turnip head.
a real tragedy, really. I think when you look at that, like the way the media portrayed Taylor, it was so unfair. And yeah, God, if you'd given him another season, another 2 seasons.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I speak to players from that period quite regularly, and they all say, absolutely no way should he have gone.
His England teams were rubbish, though.
Yeah, but he had Carlton Palmer and Neil Webb to choose, didn't he?
Well, that's a young Mark Kennedy.
He was Irish.
Was he just unlucky though with that? Like the England team around
No,
that
he
time?
picked Carlton Palmer.
I think he made some bad choices, but he didn't have Gaza, did he? I think Gaza was injured for most of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're digressing here, but
And we sort of scraped through 1-0 really.
Rankin for Froggatt.
But
Well, what we're saying is he was a lot better at Wolves than he was at England. I'm happy to accept
well,
that.
he was a fantastic club manager, wasn't he? That's the thing. I think it's a different skill completely to being a national.
but and he left Wolves and would go to Watford and take them from the third tier to the Premier League.
VAR.
Yeah, there you go. And there is your case against VAR, everyone. just keep it going and bully.
Yeah, but Tomo would have had a chance for another penalty.
Yeah, Tomo's gutted.
It's Tom Goodman there. Oh, there's De Wolf. There he is. De Wolf, man.
Yeah, that would have been their
to watch.
debut.
A really entertaining defender to watch. Big lunging defending and like huge headers going up for the corners and stuff. It was always good to watch.
Do you remember he used to take long throw-ins as well?
Yeah.
And he didn't used to. You'd win a throw-in near the corner flag, and you'd expect the guy taking the long throws to kind of sprint up, but he wouldn't. He would amble upfield while waiting for the crowd to start singing his name. And then just fling what was quite an average long throw to the corner of the penalty area, but everyone loved it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a controversial moment coming up with John De Wolf, and I just want to point out now, before we get to it, that Tomo scored 7 penalties in the first 18 games of this campaign.
That's amazing.
Stat man.
And then gets taken off penalty duties for John De Wolf.
No.
Yep.
Did Tomo dare argue with him, though? I mean, that is a fight I would have liked to have seen, to be honest.
What, John De Wolf against Scrappy Doo?
Yeah. I mean, as we saw there, I don't think pace was particularly John De Wolf's strong point, was it?
No, and he had an enormous turning circle, didn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And is this? It does feel like the start of the period where we would kind of try and buy in players instead of like a younger kind of squad team that you look at who had got us here with like Graham Turner and like that squad mentality. I think Bully talks about this in interviews quite a bit, but I think this felt like the start of the era where we were trying to buy our way.
You're absolutely right.
So there was quite a high turnover of players, older players.
Well, that was the thing. It was the decade of players coming for one last payday, wasn't it? Generally, a lot of them, most of the players that we signed came from the Premier League, and we paid them big money.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And they had little motivation to get us back up because they probably knew that they'd be bombed out of the team if we did go up.
100%. Yeah. And maybe John De Wolf felt like the start of that, really. Oh!
What goal?
You're not going to give that goal anymore. That's why football was better in 94, 95. Look at this. Look at this. Everyone would be sent off these days. I don't want to be that guy, but I mean, come on. Robbie Dennison, 2 foot in the goalkeeper and then taking out the defender to bang it into the back of the net. You can't have that anymore. This is when it was the beautiful game.
Do seem to be losing a lot at the moment, though.
Yeah, we've like having got off to a bit of a flyer. We're hemorrhaging goals, aren't we? Oh, no.
Oh
God. And like that is a long way to go for a 4-1 drumming in Oldham, isn't it? Wet day in Oldham. Ugh.
I mean, the back two here. That's De Wolf there, 5, and Brian Law, number 6, the bus driver. Do you remember him?
Yeah. The Welsh guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's
I
right.
know.
He's one of the great stories, the bus story.
I love it. It's incredible. Oh, what a save. Paul Jones, of course.
Not the first penalty he'll save this season, is it?
Oh, spoiler.
Referee deciding that it had crossed the halfway point across the 8 yards of the width of the goal. And so it'll be Gordon Cowans to take this corner from the opposite
John
side of the
DeWolf
pitch.
bouncing with the goalkeeper.
Got a touch on the keeper.
Oh, is that Gordon Cowans?
That's Gordon Cowans, yeah.
Oh, the names in this squad are just ridiculous.
Lots of kind of like. That's a great goal.
This commentator.
It's one of the most bizarre goals I think I've ever seen.
Came back to Chapel, bounced into the net. All the Wolves players aren't quite sure who to congratulate, but Lee Mills who was the last.
Well, I think that's a good place to pause it, boys. It's a short video.
It's been pretty entertaining so far.
It's a great season, isn't it?
It has rattled through, and hopefully there is going to be plenty more entertainment in part 2. We'll see you all then, folks. Have a good one.